Hello friends, this is Jana from Cedar Technologies. Today we're going to be continuing our series on the CT4 rugged smartphone. Today, as you can see, we have the back off of a CT4, and the reason we're doing that is to show you how to install a SIM card, which is going to allow you to be able to obviously make phone calls and also access to data if you get a data-equipped SIM, as well as SD card installation, which is going to become very useful if you do a lot of photography or a lot of videos with the phone. So we'll deal with the SIM card first. As you can see right here, we have a standard size SIM card. Now, SIM cards come in three main sizes. This is a standard size. There's also a micro SIM. The micro SIM is what our CMP1 mini phone takes, but you want a standard size for the CT4. There's also a nano SIM, which is even smaller. You definitely don't want that. That will not help you with this phone. So here we have our standard size SIM card. Going back to our phone, as you can see, we have two slots. That's what you can see, a drawing representation of two SIM cards stacked on top of one another. It doesn't matter which slot you put if you're only using one SIM card, it doesn't matter which slot you put it in, but it does matter which direction you put it in, depending on the slot. So, as you can see, the one that's marked just G, this one here on the bottom, if you're going to insert it under that slot, you want the cutoff corner of the SIM card to be up in the upper left corner. See how those line up? And then you just slide that in on the bottom, like so. You can feel that click in, it lines up flush with the side, and you know your SIM card is installed properly and securely. If you want to put it on the top or remove it, you just slide it out. Again, that easy. You shouldn't have to pry your SIM card out. So then if you're going to install it on this top slot, you're going to want to flip it over so that the cutoff corner is in the bottom left corner. And then you're going to want to put it so that it is above this black bar, but below this silver bracket. Again, that just slides in. You can see even better here how this just lines up flush with the side, and know that your SIM card is properly installed. For our purposes, I think we're just going to put this back into the bottom slot, and we'll leave it there for now. Now, as far as SD card installation goes, it is also very simple. Here we have our micro SD. Again, SD cards, like SIM cards, come in multiple sizes, so you want to make sure that when you buy your SIM card, regardless of when you buy your SD card, regardless of how much memory it has on it, you need to make sure that the size is appropriate. So in this case, it's a micro SD. And you can see here another illustration of how you're going to want to insert the SD card. You can see that two sides of the SD are smooth, while one has a ridged edge. You want to make sure that ridged edge is on the right side, and so that it lines up like so. You can kind of see just how those illustrations line up. So to insert the SD card, the bracket is up in the top left corner, and this time you're going to do it vertically. So you're just going to insert the SD card right here, and this is spring-loaded, so you're just going to gently push up, and this is not a properly installed SD card. It is not fully in. You're going to push up until you hear a little click, and see how that sticks right there? That's a properly installed SD card. That means it's going to that's what you need to do in order to get it to register. And when you want to pull it out, no need to pull. Instead, you push, and it pops right out again, and then it slides out real easily, just like that. And that's how you can do easy removal of your SD card. Now we have our phone all loaded up with a SIM card. We have it loaded up with an SD card. We're ready to activate the SIM and be able to use the camera and all the good stuff you want to do with the CT4. But we have one more extremely important step. You cannot rush putting the cover back on. As we've mentioned before, the CT4 is intended to hold up under rugged conditions. That means it's going to be waterproof and dustproof, but only if all of the seals are properly in place. That's why our battery is completely contained down here. You don't even have access to the battery. If there's ever a battery access problem, that's something that our tech support will help you deal with. Now, as far as reinstalling the plate for the SD card and the SIM card, which you will have to deal with, you're going to make sure that you line up the plate properly. And there's little slots to help you do that. And once you get the plate flush, you're going to use a screwdriver to tighten down these two screws. Now, we include a startup screwdriver with your kit. It's small, it's basic, and it's flat-headed, and it does work perfectly fine. But it can be a little challenging to turn because of the flat surface. It also is a little bit small, so you might not want to carry around with you on a regular basis. If you find yourself without this tool, you may have one of these. Many of you may have one of these screwdrivers at home that have multiple attachments. If that's the case, we recommend pulling out one of the attachments that has the flat head. And this represents just about the perfect amount of torque that you want to use to tighten down these screws. The amount of pressure that the average person can exert by turning one of these small screwdrivers with their fingers is just about perfect. It makes sure that you have enough pressure that the seal is properly maintained, but not so much that you strip the screws, and that is possible, so you want to be careful with this. You want to push down until you feel that you have a nice, tight contact, but not so much that you feel that you're forcing it. I think that's just about perfect. Excellent. Alright, so we've got your SIM card and your SD card installed. We have the back securely fastened back on in order to protect your phone. Now we just have to activate the SIM card. So in order to do that, you're going to have to turn your phone off and then back on again for it to recognize that you've put the SIM card in. So in this case, you're just going to go and you're going to hold down the side power button again. Going to hold it down until you get this screen that pops up. You're going to select the power off and then select OK. Phone's going to shut down. This is the proper way to shut down your phone, and you always want to make sure that you shut it down in this way when you're not using it for a long time in order to preserve the battery. If you do that, it will last for months. So now we're restarting the phone. Just going to take you through the start screen, and when it brings you back to your regular home screen, you're going to see the phone is going to try to recognize SIM cards. In this case, it's going to find one, and there'll be some messages that we're just going to follow along, and that'll help guide you to the next steps. So, as you can see up top here, there was no SIM card detected in one of the slots, in slot 1, but there was not a message that said no SIM card detected in slot 2, which means that it did detect a SIM card. So in this case, in order to move forward, we're just going to unlock the phone, swipe to unlock, and you have a message here that there's a new SIM card detected. Now, the default settings are that the data is off, but you can change this by clicking change in order for the data setting to be on. So you click on data connection, which is down here. And instead, right now, off is selected, as you can see. You're going to click back up to AT&T in this case. Whatever SIM card you happen to have in there. And now it's on, and your settings are changed on. And your SIM card is activated, and you should be able to make calls. And if it's a data-enabled SIM card, you should be able to access data and do all of your functions even when you're not around Wi-Fi. Alright, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out our other instructional videos. Check us out at cedartreetechnologies.com and let us know if there's any other how-to videos you'd like us to do, or you can send us a message through Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. Thanks again, and remember, good things come in tough packages.